whole kind of conversation about we're having less sex than our parents, which, I mean, they say it's down to we're on our phones too much, we can't communicate, whatever. But is that actually right?
We know from data in the US that this trend has been observed of younger people having less sex, and I don't think anyone's truly gotten to the bottom of it. I think sometimes there's this kind of toxic sex positivity where it's like everyone should be orgasming all the time.
Yeah.
No, that's not what true sex positivity is, I believe. But some of the reasons that are put forward are financial. Most of us, I mean, certainly like a UK perspective, loads of us, we're at school until we're 18. That the point at which we reach financial independence gets more and more delayed. I did interview a lot of people who identify as celibate. They acknowledge periods of sexlessness in their lives because they want it and they find value in it.
And that comes with like a huge pressure to have sex, and specifically men. Like, there's pressure on all of us in many ways, but men, there is a specific pressure on.
There are so many pressures facing young men. The idea that you need to have a high body count. It's literally, it's vocabulary like that that you and I will have heard at school.
100%.
And still hear, you know, now in our 20s. This is harmful for so many reasons. You know, it can lead to situations in the bedroom in which a man thinks he is being manly or wants to be manly, and actually what he's doing is a harmful behaviour. It can also, we know that this has a bearing on how men reach out when they have a sexual problem. Admitting that you have a sexual problem for lots of people will be very challenging because it's not seen as being virile, it's not seen as being manly.
Well, I mean, that kind of leads into consent, which is a bit of a grey area. It's not just like, can I put my penis in your wherever? It's more than that. It's not black and white.
A lot of us are taught it's say yes or say no.
Yeah.
This is when you say yes, this is when you say no. How much you know about the society you live in and things that may happen to other people more than others. The privilege you may carry when you walk into a bedroom and the discrimination you may carry when you walk into a bedroom. It's only when we're equipped with all that I believe we can truly say yes or no, or know how to express ourselves. And that's what I argue in the book, that it's not a binary, it's almost like a continuum, and you need to complicate it for young people. They're ready for it, they're eager for it, and there are lots of people like me who feel like because it wasn't complicated for us, it was oversimplified, we were not set up for the world we went on to live in.
Okay, this is a bit deep, but how much of a negative impact could a bad sex education have on someone's life?
Now if I tell you that 40% of young women and 26% of young men do not feel that the first time they had sex happened at the right time, it's an intimate part of our mental and physical well-being. There's this huge drive now to talk about mental health, which is thrilling and needed, but you can't talk about that without addressing people's sexual health and well-being because it's intimately part of it. In the future of like sexual public health and sex education, we are no longer only going to be measured on how many teenagers got pregnant, you know, or like how many people got gonorrhea last year, which are what we grew up being fed at school. We're going to start having researchers ask us about sexual resilience. They're going to ask us, is there, in the past week, did you regret a sexual experience that you had? Or is there someone that you can talk to about your sexual behaviour or identity? And it's when we start answering, oh yeah, I have been, you know, I do feel really bad about something that happened to me. Or it's when you say, oh, I have no one to talk to. That's so informative about our sexual identity, our sexual well-being. And it would be so naive of us to think that doesn't go into effect.
100%.
What else happens in our life. And this is what I say to you from my own personal experience.